This episode is brought to you by the Pixel Slayers Media Podcast. Join me, Sari, along with my wife Frankie, as we discuss video games and pop culture. Find us at pixelslayers.buzzsprout.com or look for the Pixel Slayers on any podcast app. The Simpsons Siblings is now on Patreon. Get bonus episodes, behind-the-scenes looks, early releases, and more. Tiers start at just $1 a month. Find us at www.patreon.com/SimpsonsSibs or click the link in the episode description. Thank you. Hey guys, this is Sari.
And this is Sean.
And we're the Simpsons Siblings. We are back from summer break.
Yeah.
And this is the start of season 2. We're doing it again?
Season 2 of our podcast, not season 2 of The Simpsons.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think that I was like a baby in 1990. So we've got Sean's birthday episode, even though his birthday was like a month and a half ago.
But I'm excited to get into the birthday episode.
Yeah, we were on break during his birthday, but now he gets to pick his favorite episode, or just one that he really likes and wanted to do.
It was hard picking because there's so many, and if you asked me 20 times, I'd probably give 20 different answers. But,
Yeah, I'm the same.
But I think definitely going with Marge versus the Monorail. I just love this episode. It's got some good music. It's got some good jokes. It's got Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, yeah.
It's got everything I like.
It's got everything you want. Alright, so let's get into it. Today's episode is Marge versus the Monorail. This is Season 4, Episode 12, originally aired January 14th, 1993. It was written by Conan O'Brien, yeah, and directed by Rich Moore. Our guest stars are Phil Hartman and Leonard Nimoy.
And this is one that doesn't have the chalkboard scene, which I'm always a little bit sad of. But for the couch gag, we have basically the whole town jumping into the living room, watching TV with them.
Yep.
And I watched it a bit as they were coming in, watched it in slow motion. And everyone has these like flailing arms that seem kind of odd for some of the characters, but I like that they were consistent.
They might have had like a different team animating that segment or something.
Yeah, it seemed a bit weird, but I like it.
Yeah, it's cute. And oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite openings of any episode ever.
Yes.
It starts and it just keeps going, and it sells it. It's the Simpsons, or of course it's the Simpsons, but it's the Flintstones opening.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool that they're paying tribute to something that they're a little bit, not so much based off of, but maybe inspired by.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that if they did it today, not as many people would appreciate it, because at the time the episode aired, there was a bit of that overlap with people who watched the Flintstones growing up and people who are watching the Simpsons now.
Well, and the live-action Flintstones movie, I think, was maybe a couple years after this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there was kind of a little bit of a Flintstones resurgence. And, yeah, like, my daughter didn't understand the opening. She was just like, Homer's being weird.
Yeah, imagine watching that, not knowing that song, and just
It would almost make it more funny. Because he just, like, flies through his window and breaks it. And
the whole going down the pipe, which is like the back of the dinosaur.
Oh, man, he just sells it. And, of course, he's about to hit a chestnut tree. And his car gets, like, totaled. But they don't mention it for the rest of the episode.
I love that he has enough time to think of the lyrics for the chestnut tree, put it into song form, but doesn't have enough time to actually avoid it.
It's almost like the Homer's brain versus Homer sort of thing, where his part of his brain, like when they zoom in on his brain, sometimes it knows more than he does.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's perfect. Oh, man. Alright, so next scene, we've got Lenny and Carl getting rid of the toxic waste.
Do not eat.
And just the way Carl's like, either way, I'm sleeping good tonight. Like, just kind of drawing attention to just how absurd it is.
And they just leave the drum in the hallway.
Yep. You just leave it there. I also found it weird that, and this is sort of nitpicking, but I guess Lenny and Carl stay at work longer than Homer does?
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe they're working a little overtime? I don't know.
Kids are the working overtime.
And get to the work. Oh my god, I say that every time I hear that song. Oh, and so then they're putting the, Mr. Burns and Smithers are putting the toxic waste into the tree, and they show the toxic chipmunk. He's so cute. I'm gonna draw a picture of that. Someone in our Patreon is gonna get that sent to them. Yes.
I love too what was it? They talked about dumping it at the park. And he said, "No, I'm tired about complaints from all the bald children."
Oh, that's so
it's so sad. Like they know what they're doing.
Oh my god, yeah. Something I thought was interesting too is like Mr. Burns features so heavily in the beginning of this episode, and then he just disappears for the last 2/3.
At first, you think it's going to be some conspiracy with the power plant, or something like that, but that's how a lot of the Simpsons episodes are. The first 5 minutes. Somehow tie into the main story just in a very loose way.
Yeah, like the one where Lisa convinces Homer and Bart that they have leprosy starts out with them at like a ski lodge.
Yeah.
Like,
but you never know going into it fresh.
You don't know what's gonna happen next. They've got. Should we continue to the court scene?
Yes.
Yeah, we got Burns being wheeled in like Hannibal Lecter for some reason.
And the plaque in the courthouse says "Liberty and Justice for Most."
Oh, I never noticed that. Oh my gosh. And it's so easy for him to pay that $3 million. He's like, just get my wallet.
Yeah, it's just a wad of cash that he's carrying around.
Yeah. He ends up buying the Justice statue. He's like, oh, go ahead and throw that in.
Sold.
And the judge is so happy about it. So the town has to figure out what they're going to do with this $3 million. And Lisa's idea with the VR, it's kind of weird how back then that seemed so futuristic and expensive.
Yeah, because I have the VR headset myself, and it's funny how looking at what they put on, it was like a whole head thing. There's wires everywhere, and now we just have, it's still in development, but it's just a sleek version, one wire coming out, nothing too crazy.
Yep.
And I just love seeing how the past thinks of the future. It makes us wonder, we're going to laugh at ourselves now for what we think the world's going to be like in 10, 20 years.
Yeah, and the fact that Lisa was thinking that they could spend their $3 million on that.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. And, of course, Bart's idea of how to spend it just makes no sense and is extremely destructive.
Oh, yeah. Well, and he's controlling all those ants with the one stick that goes forward and back.
Yes. Well, and I love how he has 2 very specific acts of destruction towards the school that involve bugs. Because there's the robotic ants, and then there's also the butterfly.
The butterfly.
There's the butterfly, I tell you. So, for some reason, there's a very, very slight bug motif going on with his destruction. But, that's Bart. So, they all go to the town meeting to figure out what to do with the money. And we've got Mayor Quimby saying, how are we going to spend the $2 million? $2 million? Don't you mean $3 million?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, man. And then we've got Mr. Snrub.
And it's not just Mr. Snrub. There's like an emphasis on the U. Mr.
Snrub. Well, because it's backwards. Because it makes it sound like it's backwards.
My God, I even wrote out Mr. Snrub, and I didn't realize it was Burns backwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's why he emphasizes it, because it sounds like he's saying it backwards. Mr. Snrub.
Are you saying Boo or Boo Earns?
I was saying Boo Earns. Yeah, so we also got to mention, of course, the dankness.
Yes.
Of Mr. Snrub is one of my favorites. It's great. Anyway, check that out.
Good old dankness.
The dank. I just wrote Mr. Shrub Mr. Snrub, ... dank.
You know what? You told me in the car once, because we were listening to Mr. Snrub, and you told me it was Burns backwards.
And you still didn't remember it.
Wow.
We're going to come back to this. We're going to revisit these episodes when we're like 80. And we're going to remaster and reboot all these episodes. And you're not going to remember it.
Nope.
So Mr. Snrub and Mr. Smithers, I don't know what Smithers backwards would be.
I can't even do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to try that. They escape, and it's so overdone. They have like a grappling hook. And one thing I always notice about this scene is it like overlaps into the next shot with Apu. Like Apu starts talking, but they're still like ascending in the background.
Yeah, they have this whole elaborate plan, but nobody cares.
Yeah.
They're like, that's usual Mr. Snrub.
And the music almost sounds like the 90s Batman movies.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because that was Danny Elfman who also did the Simpsons theme.
Oh.
But I don't think he did the music during the episodes. So that's not even like a coincidence. But it's a thing.
It's something to talk about.
And that's why you guys tune in, isn't it? For the things. The stuff about the things. Oh, so Marge describes the state of Main Street. And of course, Homer's to blame a lot for it.
Yes.
The chains on the tires, even after.
When Marge says people keep using snow chains while carrying heavy loads, and of course Homer's carrying a grand piano on top of the car.
For no reason. Why would Homer need to be hauling a grand piano?
Ooh, look at that asphalt go.
Oh my god. I wonder how many dollars in property damage Homer has caused through the years. Like, I would love if someone just sat down and calculated all that.
Yeah, between accidents at the power plant and stuff to the city and just all the destruction.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we got the popcorn truck gag.
He just goes, whoa.
Whoa.
And the voice, like, just fades out very quickly. 'Cause, like, intentionally, whoa, he just disappears.
Yep. Just like in real life, all the popcorn pops.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's how it would happen. And poor Grandpa, nobody understands his sarcasm.
They praise him and lift him up. And it's just like he's opposing the idea wholeheartedly. And then everyone's just like, yeah, let's do that.
Sure, we could clean up Main Street. Yeah. Oh, poor Grandpa. Oh, so there was this really small, kind of cute moment that I never noticed before. When everyone starts cheering for Main Street, like after it being Marge's idea, Homer kind of like turns to Marge and takes her hand and gives her a small smile.
I noticed that too.
Like he's proud of her. It was like a really tiny, sweet moment that they kind of just like pinched in there by like a little bit of salt. And it was sweet.
Yeah, like Homer does have his faults, but when it comes down to like things that are important to Marge, he at least acknowledges some of them.
He may have destroyed Main Street,
yes,
but he's completely supportive of Marge's wherewithal to fix Main Street.
Right.
And that's Homer right there.
And then we get Lyle Landley coming in.
Oh yeah, I seriously wrote Kyle Landley and then crossed out Kyle.
I love his opening line with like them not knowing what to do with the money. Mm-hmm. It's like a mule with a spinning wheel. No one knows how he got it. Danged if he knows how to use it.
Oh my god. And then I love how Homer completely misses the point of the joke. It just goes, mule.
The way he says it, just mule.
It's like trying to tell a joke to a 2-year-old and all they notice is the cute animal. So, of course, he goes, oh, it's more of a Shelbyville idea. I feel like we need to do an episode just on Shelbyville.
And that, like, kind of rivalry that's going on.
Yep.
Because Landley did his research. He knows exactly how to get under their skin.
Oh, he knows how to, and I'll comment a little bit more on this a little later, but he knows specifically how to get each character, too. Like, he's a manipulative bee.
Well, like, with just that one line, he gets Mayor Quimby to say, tell us your idea so we can vote for it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, he's also dealing with Springfield, so
Yeah.
they're pretty impressionable. It sure put them on the map.
Map with. So one of them, I think it was North Havenbrook. He kind of ran out of room, and he switched from uppercase to lowercase.
Oh my god, I never noticed that. Oh, dear God. And then we get that infamous song.
The Monorail Song, which
Yes.
is one of the main reasons why I picked this episode. I know it's
yeah.
short, but it's just one that sticks with you.
And that's the interesting thing. When I was a kid, this song seemed so long to me.
Yeah.
Like, it seemed like such a big spectacle that lasted, like, several, like, 5 minutes or something. But it's really, really short in reality.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah. And Bart's line, "Sorry, Mom, the mob has spoken." Isn't that just the plot of just so many Simpsons episodes?
Yeah, that's what
Sorry, Mom, the mob has spoken.
And the Simpsons movie.
True.
Yeah.
True. And then, of course, we got Homer not understanding how to, like, continue on a song, which kind of reminded me of the Who Needs a Quickie Mart.
The Quickie Mart is the...
Don't he can't like, rhyme it. And he just goes mono. Don't. And then we got Lyle Lanley going into the schools and talking to them about it, which is really... He's trying to get every single subsection of the community in on this, which is very manipulative.
It's almost as manipulative as Oscar Mayer giving emotional periodic table of the elements to schools.
I made a joke about that on Twitter and nobody liked it.
Oh.
So it was, for some reason the QTs around our area have these posters that say, like, "Make your lunch snacktacular."
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's from the periodic table. I would have also accepted snacktacular. What is the atomic weight of bolognium?
Delicious.
Oh my god. Well, the interesting thing is now we get to see how he cons Lisa. That is the most manipulative.
I know. And it's funny because I didn't catch that before, like how serious that was.
Mm-hmm.
That Lisa, how like analytical and just cautious she is, he wins her over instantly.
Yep. And then we get the whole back and forth of, can it outrun the Flash? Can Superman outrun the Flash? And I think that's the My Dingaling kid.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I think they might have reused his face or something.
Think back to elementary school when you had like a guest speaker or something. How many times the conversations went off like that? Like,
Yeah.
Getting onto unrelated things, and someone has to get the conversation back on track. That's just how kids are.
Yeah, that's how kids are gonna be. So I was suspicious of this, and I looked it up, and it was what I thought. The Truckosaurus, the movie commercial, is all reused footage.
Oh.
It's all reused from Bart the Daredevil. They just took the same footage and put Truckosaurus the movie over it and then did the voiceover. So it was like a time saving. Because I always thought that was a weird spot for that.
Yeah.
And it's because they needed like a little bit extra, possibly for the runtime. And then I don't remember the context for this, but all I have written is, does whiskey count as beer?
Oh, I was going to write that down. I was like, no, I'll remember that. What was that?
We've got 30-year-old memories now. We can't remember that kind of stuff. We can't access
something
that.
about like only having like 3 beers or something.
Oh, to be a monorail conductor?
Yes.
Yeah. Does whiskey count?
Do you sit at home drinking 5 beers a day?
Yeah. That's what it was, the commercial.
And then the way that the guy sitting on the couch is basically Homer with hair.
Exactly.
And then in the commercial, they have the picture of the Monorail Institute. At the bottom, actual institute may not match photo. And then it cuts to the door with a handwritten sign.
Oh my god. Oh, and then Marge going, your dream was to run in the field during a baseball game, and you already did that. And that newspaper clipping is perfect.
Yeah.
Where it says, like, idiot ruins game, Springfield forfeits. But yet he's so proud of it that he wants to hang it on the wall in a frame.
Homer talking to Bart saying, do you want to change your name to Homer Jr.? And then just classic Homer mindset. Your friends can call you Hoju.
Like, that's so stupid. Bart just has like this blank look and he's like, I'll get back to you.
He says it like it's a good thing, like Hoju.
Okay. Oh, I love it. And why is Barney helping them build the monorail track?
We'll see later why.
And I love when it ends up crashing and he goes, I hate that sound. He sounds like a 4-year-old.
Yes.
I don't like that sound. So then we get Homer and Marge in bed talking about all this. And he's trying to convince her this is a good idea. And then all of his attempts to turn on Marge. What if I talk like this?
What if I button my shirt? No.
And then he starts singing. And then he goes, he sings about chicken. And then he goes, chicken. It just keeps, it goes for longer than you expect it to.
It's something that goes longer than expected, but just on the verge of not being too long.
Yeah. And then we get the end of the extensive 3-week course. Mono means one, and rail means rail.
Well, another thing I didn't notice before is then he says, when they ask who's going to be the conductor, I remember in my mind him pointing at Homer, but he just kind of makes a broad gesture, says, what about you?
Yeah.
And he kind of leaves it just up to chance for whoever responds.
Because he doesn't care who does it. He just needs to act like he's training them. And, oh my God, it's ridiculous. Then we have the announcement on the news that Homer's going to be the lead conductor. And, of course, they use a file photo.
Yes, those are all. They have hundreds of file photos on Homer.
And they're all just the worst photos. And we have Homer introducing the family to the monorail. And they find the family of possums. And yes. I call the big one Bitey.
This is my cup holder. Cupcake holder, if you will.
He's just so excited about the little things. And why is Lamley drawing all of these situations? Because he has several doodles that we see throughout the episode of, like, monorail breaking down and, like, him going to Tahiti.
And he's very trusting of Marge when he says, what did you see? Oh, nothing incriminating. Oh, okay.
Good. And we get another one of those, I'm going to call them flash-arounds, because they're not really flashbacks, but they happen so much in early Simpsons where it's one character and then 3 lines that repeat over and over with their faces.
Yes, and it's always like 2 or 3 repeats.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because we have, like, from now on the baby sleeps in the crib and all that.
Hello, Joe.
And then with this one, I want to name the big one Bitey, and is there a chance the track could bend? And I wrote, too, I wonder if those were to fill time. Because if you think about it, it's just a still frame of Marge and then 3 animations that they've already made.
And they can say, we'll loop it 1 to 3 times depending on how much of a buffer we need.
Exactly. Something my 7-year-old daughter picked up for some reason. How Marge has to bend her hair just to get in the car. I never noticed that before. It's always kind of bending backwards.
I've noticed that.
Yeah. Just a little thing.
Little extra work on the animator's parts.
Yep. So she goes to North Haverbrook and meets Cobb, who is the first engineer. And that lady cackling, that old lady, I always forget that it's going to happen, but it creeps me out every time.
Just the nonsensical, crazy laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we have the lady at the restaurant. I don't know nothing about no monorail. And she closes it and it says Monorail Cafe.
Oh, that's great. After that, we go to the sort of opening ceremony of the monorail. And Kent Brockman has the line, nothing brings out the stars like the opening of a monorail.
Did you notice when the limo pulled up, it hit a pothole?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, my God.
It's right on the walkway.
Oh, my God, that's terrible. And then we've got Krusty's baby.
Yes, that was just a completely
so weird.
Random 15 seconds.
Yeah. Oh man, and then he's cool, he's sexy, he's 34 years old, and then he has all the... Did people age really fast back then?
I don't know, because with all those wrinkles on his face, I'm like, I'm older than that.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm like, I've got
this is personal.
I have 3 years left. Oh man, and Leonard Nimoy.
Yes.
R.I.P. We miss you. I remember the day he died. I watched this one in the Springfield Files, just as in remembrance. And the whole May the Force thing.
Yes, the look on his face. May the Force be with you.
Weren't you one of the little rascals?
Now, I was wondering, like, the thought process. If they thought, hey, let's do an episode with Leonard Nimoy, and then figured that out around him. Mm-hmm. Or if they said, hey, let's throw Leonard Nimoy. Like, how that came to be. Oh, you know?
Yes, I do. So originally they wanted William Shatner, but he had turned them down for a previous episode, so I don't think they even tried to ask. And then they asked George Takei next for some reason, and he wasn't able to do it. And then they went to Nimoy.
Okay. Which
is weird that he was their third choice, but because it's hard to picture this episode without him, but it wasn't specifically written around it. Yeah. I'm thinking the Springfield Files was. Because I think he actually did have a show similar to the whole opening, closing parts of that.
I don't know if I'm just imagining things, but you can kind of hear in his voice that he's loving doing the voice acting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And especially since a little bit later on, he kind of pokes fun at himself a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Makes you think of, like, Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
How he publicly talked about really wanting to be on The Simpsons, and then he ends up making fun of himself, and he just loved it.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You kind of have to be able to make fun of yourself in order to do a really good guest role on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing yourself.
Now, one thing I noticed, when he says, may the Force be with you, then it goes into showing Homer in his uniform, and it kind of has a Star Wars-y look to it. Kind of like a sort of Darth Vader, Stormtrooper.
Yeah, I noticed that he has a cape.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have a cape? But yeah, it does fit that look.
I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I remember that standing out to me in the past, too.
Yeah. So we have Lyle leaving before the maiden voyage, and he's like, I have less than a minute.
Well, because, what was it that they said, oh, it'll only take a minute. My flight takes off in less than a minute.
Yeah. And when the engineer guy, they get there and he says, I shouldn't have stopped for that haircut. I never noticed this, but he legitimately has a completely different haircut.
Oh, I didn't even think to check for that.
Yep, he has, like, the sides are shaved. And I wonder if that was an animation thing. That they animated it after the fact and then didn't realize it was the same hair. But maybe I'm looking too far into this.
Or maybe it's just an absurd joke of, you're going to go save the lives of 100 people on a monorail, but... oh, maybe we've got time to stop for a haircut.
Gotta stop for a haircut. And then we have the self-deprecating humor with Nimoy sort of spouting Star Trek fun facts to random people.
Yes.
Like, that's all they want to hear from him. And he's got, like, his arm on the side. He's chatting up some random person.
I think this vessel can do at least warp 5.
Oh, my God. It's just so cute. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just cute. And then stick your head out the window. Dang it, Bart, didn't you see Hereditary? You don't do that.
Whoosh, like the pole going right by.
Oh, dear God. Also, why are there diner seats in the train if the ride takes less than a minute? It's got, like, a diner.
Good point. They were served coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking, like, when you see the overview of the whole map, I only saw one station. Is it just a 1-minute lap around Springfield? Maybe I missed it, but
maybe it is just pointless. Like, it's just for a tour. It's just for funsies.
Yeah.
It's not
like Lisa said, why would you build a metropolitan-size transit system in a small town?
Oh, my God.
The whole thing's pointless.
Oh, Springfield.
Springfield.
It's a hell of a town. So then the monorail goes out of control, and Quimby and the Chief Wiggum get in an argument just while the monorail just goes round and round and round.
Well, that's what they get for using the seldom break.
Oh my
pipe.
God. Yeah, just... And I think, doesn't Quimby say, not Quimby, Wiggum says, this thing's making me dizzy, I might go take a nap.
Oh, they're looking up the town charter and finding all this other stuff.
Yeah. So I happened to pause on the town charter, and you can see front and center near the bottom Jebediah Springfield's signature.
Oh, that's cool.
And they decided they wanted, and it almost kind of looks like a John Hancock style where it has all like the loops and stuff. That they decided to put that detail in there just for, for funsies.
I wonder if there's like a canon signature for him.
I don't know. That'd be a good character episode to just do Jebediah Springfield. Yeah. Give me the fife. And Wiggum and Quimby are just arguing like kids while this disaster is happening. And then those technicians are like, well, why don't we just turn off the power?
Oh, it's solar power.
Solar. Will they ever learn? And I love this line from Nimoy. A solar eclipse, the cosmic ballet goes on.
Like, just the moment they bring up that it's solar paneled, there happens to be... Could you imagine if nothing went wrong on the maiden trip? It would have been shut down because of the solar eclipse.
And that the people didn't decide to, look for the solar eclipse? Because usually that's a pretty big event.
It's just like, it's raining. Oh, a solar eclipse.
That's how I thought it worked when I was a kid. I thought it would just happen randomly. Also, my other question is, does it just not work at night? And what happens if it's cloudy? And does it not have any reserve power for...
I don't think a lot of thought went into this.
Yeah, a lot of thought didn't
Not
go
the episode, but the cheap construction of it.
Exactly. This is just showing more and more how Lanley's system is just terrible. But he does get his just desserts when he has an unexpected layover at North Haverbrook. How badly would they need to be beating him up in order to shake the airliner?
Yeah.
Like, this guy is getting what he deserves.
Well, my very first thought was, how'd they get through security? But then I was like, oh, the year.
Yeah, the year. Well, and also the runway has a bunch of potholes. So that kind of shows, it shows that North Haverbrook was having similar problems before they decided to throw all their money at the monorail. Yeah.
Wonder where those towns got their money from.
I don't know if they all had their own versions of Mr. Burns. Maybe. Well, it's like the mule that has the spinning wheel. Nobody knows how they got it. Mule. So...
There was another mule. Oh, no, that's Futurama. Never mind.
Oh, was there a mule joke in Futurama?
We can cut this out if we want.
Well, I mean...
But it's when Fry was doing the scratch and sniff lottery tickets. He's like, cherry, mule. And then he goes to the bank to deposit like his $5, and the teller says, well, I'm sure a successful mule farmer such as yourself.
Oh, man. This would have worked out if... Remember when we flipped that coin to decide if we were going to be a Simpsons podcast or a Futurama podcast?
Yeah, it landed on Simpsons.
Yeah.
Glad it turned out that way.
Me too. One of my favorite just Homer quotes, period, is when Marge is like, so I got a scientist here to help you. Is it Batman? No, it's a scientist. Batman's a scientist. It's not Batman.
He's so hopeful.
He just really wants it to be Batman. So we get the whole, using an anchor solution where he takes the M off the monorail. Which
the M is probably the most sturdily constructed thing.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Yeah. And how strong would that rope have to be?
Yeah.
Because it's not just that it's supposed to stop it. The engine's still going. It should still be trying to resist
What
it.
they say the train is going 180 miles an hour or something
Yes.
insane like that?
And he just, like, ties a double knot.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't at first.
And again, we have Homer destroying the roads.
Exactly. And then, so the roads are going to be even worse after all this. And then the conjoined twins that he just happens to rip apart just right.
Yes. And it rips through that log cabin. It just explodes.
Yeah. Oh, it tears through the tree, and the tree falls on the cabin.
That's right.
And then, of course, that means the cabin's going to explode.
It's like the exploding wagon.
Yeah. Or the exploding gremlin on the side of the bus, the car.
Right.
It just kind of stops and then explodes. And of course it lands in the giant lard lad donut.
Yeah.
And we get the famous line.
Donuts. Is there anything they can't do?
Exactly. And then after that, Homer celebrates and says, "I'm the best mono thingy there ever was." And wasn't he just?
It's the whole resetting back to norm. Homer didn't learn anything.
Mm-hmm. And somehow he gets his job back the next week. Oh, and then the line when Leonard Nimoy leaves, where he's like, "You didn't do anything, didn't I?" And he just transports.
And then nobody questions it. It just happens.
Mm-hmm. It reminds me of like I'm not Xena, I'm Lucy Lawless. Like, just for some reason the actors have these abilities.
Yeah.
And then that leads to all the other problems that they made in the future. The popsicle stick skyscraper, the giant magnifying glass, and the escalator to nowhere.
Yeah.
And I love how casual these people are going on the escalator. They're just like waiting, and then, whoa, whoa.
Well, like, just like, why would that be built? Who would get on it? Why is it still being maintained? And just the absurdity that you can only have in an animated show.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And there was no reason for Leonard Nimoy to be there.
No, it could have been any other guest star. It could have been a random voice actor they pulled off the street.
Yep.
But for some reason, they made a few Star Trek jokes.
Yep.
Threw Leonard Nimoy in, and
there you go.
Yeah.
That's all you need. So, I guess Conan came up with the idea when he saw there was a billboard in L.A. and it just said monorail and absolutely nothing else.
Weird.
And after he saw that billboard, he just kind of came up with the whole thing.
It just makes you wonder, like, what other episode could have been in its place with other random inspiration.
Yeah. Yep. He also says that this is his favorite episode that he wrote.
So I have a lot in common with Conan O'Brien with loving this episode.
Yes. And you also did not write it. So I will not congratulate you. Oh, I have one more fun fact. So going backwards a little bit, I never noticed this. I actually saw this on the internet. The tree that Mr. Burns puts the barrels in has 2 hearts written on it that say MB and HS, which would be Marge Bouvier and Homer Simpson.
Aww.
So it's kind of implied that they drew on that tree when they were dating, which is cute. And also something I've never noticed. I didn't even notice it this time. Somebody on the internet had to tell me.
Yeah, I'll notice it next time, though.
Now you know. Yeah, that was pretty good. So thank you so much for listening. This is our first episode back after, 3-4 months?
About 3 months.
3 months? Yeah, we took summer break, got to chill out, and it was really nice. It was nice having a little break. I noticed I was getting a bit of poo brain at the end of last season. I needed just a break. But if you'd like to join us next time, we will be covering 3 Men and a Comic Book, which is Season 2, Episode 21. Watch the episode beforehand in order to get the full experience. So until next time, Bye, everybody.